Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you guys really liked the last couple videos. I really want to try posting once a week, so stay tuned for future videos and drop a comment down below on what you guys want to see in the future. It's that time of the year again. It's pretty cold outside, so you have nothing better to do at home except organize tackle, re-spool some stuff. So I figured, why not post a video on spooling a baitcaster. So before we start the video today, I just really ask that you guys like and subscribe and post a comment down below on what you guys want to see in the future. I'm going to be posting once a week at least. Your guys' comments really are going to help me dictate what I'm going to post next. So you're going to need a couple things before you start spooling up your baitcaster. Obviously, you're going to need your baitcaster. This one's Shimano Titanium DC. You're going to need your rod to guide the line through. This one's a Dobyns Champion XP 734. Your line of choice, in this case, I'm going to go with braid. You're going to need something to cut the line with. And this is optional, but you can get a line despooler, and I highly recommend a line conditioner. So first things first, guys, you're gonna need to take your line off. I cut my bait off and I'm ready to take the line off. I recommend that you actually tighten your spool tension knob, which is this knob over here. Just tighten it a little bit because you don't want this to backlash when you're taking the line out. So right now my tension knob is set really loose, and if I engage the reel and I pull really hard, look at that, that's, oh shoot. Yeah, that didn't end up good, don't do that. All right, now that we got that out of the way, this is what you should set your tension knob to. I can yank on it and it's not really gonna give me a backlash. Look how nasty this is. This stuff used to be clear mono. Now you guys are probably wondering why there's a bunch of this mono behind all my braid on my spool. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is gonna be braid slips really easily. So if you put braid straight directly onto the spool and tie that, it's just gonna slip as you keep reeling it. It'll just basically feel like there's no drag set on your reel sometimes, and if you pull it, it's just gonna feel like a loose spool. Another reason why you want mono backing on your reels is because it'll actually save you a lot of line. I'm basically filling up maybe a little less than a third of the spool with mono. Imagine how much braid that'll save you in the long run. And the cool thing is you can just use the cheapest mono that you can find, something laying around. I had this on. Usually I'll just keep it on here and I'll just re-spool with new braid. But for this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to do it straight from the spool. Now I just wanna point something out. I actually put black electrical tape right directly onto my spool. It just basically helps the line grip onto the spool a little better, even though that's the whole point of putting the mono on. I don't know, it's just something I've always done. Now when you're at this point, the first thing is make sure you tighten your drag all the way down tight. Now that your drag's tightened down all the way, we're gonna put this back on the rod and then we're gonna start spooling with our backing. For my backing, I'm gonna go with some Trilene, what is this? XL smooth casting 14-pound mono. It's super cheap. Just use whatever is cheap. You're not going to be fishing with it. It's just to fill the spool behind the main line. Make sure you're running your line all the way through your guides and through the line guide inside the spool, which is, for this baitcaster, it's the circular thing right here. Now we're gonna tie a very basic knot. I just like tying 2 overhand knots. It's really just to get the line to stay in place. Again, you're not gonna be fishing with this line. It's just to fill the spool up a little bit. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna make my first knot, tie it down there in the middle. Always make sure you try and get in the middle of the spool. And then careful to make my second knot. Just keep tightening here. And I'm just gonna tighten that. Make sure you get in the middle and just make it tight, just like that. Now I'm gonna cut this unnecessarily long tag end. Oops. As close as I can without hitting the knot. Just like that. And I'm just gonna reel it in a couple times just so that the line stays in place. At this point, we're gonna start spooling with our line. Now when you're spooling on your line, it's really important to note that you want the line to come off the spool in this direction. Not like this, because this is gonna cause a bunch of coils to come out. I know this is the backing, but it's still really important. Just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna place the spool down and face this towards me, and the line should be coming off like this. All right, don't judge how I set this up. I just did this so that the spool is able to rotate freely over there. A lot of people use a pencil and stick it in the middle and attach it to something. This is just what I thought of on the spot. As long as it's in a fixed place and it's rotating properly, that's all you need. Now I'm gonna start reeling this. So One thing to keep in mind is that even though there's already a line guide in here, I just like to kind of keep some more tension on it so that it's not just loose like that, because that'll make it really loose on the spool. So I just like to hold a little bit of tension, just follow the line guide with it. So you'll see me move my fingers back and forth like that as the line spools on. And now we're ready to spool. Now sometimes the line's already gonna be tight, so you don't really have to hold it. Just guide it. Like over here, you can kind of see that it's a little more filled on the left. So I'm just gonna kind of hold the line to the right and it'll even itself out. All right, so now that I've got my connection knot tied, I'm just gonna spool this until I start to feel the braid come down, which is my main line. And now this is really important, guys. When you hit the spot where your connection knot hits your spool, you want that to be right in the middle, because if not, your line is gonna lay more on one side than the other, and it's just gonna be all lopsided when you're finally done. So that's really important, don't forget that. This just takes a couple tries, but just keep doing it until you get in the center, and it'll definitely help out later. Now this is the point where I highly suggest you apply some type of line conditioner. They say it's gonna help your casting distance and stuff. I just like it more because it just conditions my line and makes it a little more slick. And it's supposed to also help the internals of your reel too, so it's a plus, why not? I'm just gonna take a tiny piece of paper towel and I'm just gonna shake this up really well. I'm just gonna spray it a couple times. And then remember when I said that we're gonna guide the line with our finger too, so I'm just gonna literally hold the line in between the paper towel like this, with all lubricated, and then just go. All right, so you pretty much got the spool filled all the way, but don't go too far up. You wanna leave a slight gap right in between the bevel right there, just so that the line doesn't jump off the spool. I'm gonna cut this. And just like that, guys, we are done. We have our fully spooled baitcaster. Hope this video helped you guys. If you guys found it useful, please share it with a friend. Also hit that notification bell. I'm gonna be posting once a week, so never miss out on a new video. Let me know if you guys like the content down in the comments below. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.